Hey guys, if you notice in my videos a lot, especially the ones the last few days, I spend a lot of time looking at the gauges of the vehicle. I'm gonna show you why this is important right here, because this could be the difference between catching a very expensive problem before it happens. Get into your gauges, trust the data. I'm gonna show you this right now. We got the RHO running. You can kind of hear powertrain. I'm listening for sounds. 26 Hemi here. It's been sitting here for a minute. We're gonna cold start this thing and we're gonna listen and look for sounds here. Listening for sounds. Going back to the exhaust, any smoke, anything that looks weird. And now I'm gonna show you the next thing. Really nice and cold here in Michigan right now. I'm gonna show you why I spend a lot of time looking at these gauges. So if we look at the oil pressure. When you start the engine up and it's cold, you're gonna see oil pressure really high. We're at 61 PSI. Once the engine warms up, it's probably gonna be more like 51. Obviously the engine's warming up right now, coolant, trans temp, oil temp. Okay, all this stuff's warming up. But why it's important. So one of the things I love about Ram trucks is they give you the ability to see a lot of engine details. Not all manufacturers are gonna show you every single number. And it's one of the things I love, and I've loved this about Ram trucks for a long time, because some of the other manufacturers don't show you these numbers. Why is this important to me? I do a lot of towing. So I'm looking at coolant temps, oil pressure, and battery voltage. But if I get accustomed to knowing what my engine sounds like and numbers look like at startup, I also know what they're like not towing and towing. I might be able to catch a problem before it happens. So we've only been here just a few minutes and you can already see the engine coolant and everything's starting to warm up, which is great. I spend a lot of time looking at these gauges, not just horsepower and torque, but I'm looking at that boost pressure. I'm looking at oil temp, oil pressure. I'm looking at oil level, battery voltage, and obviously tire pressure. To a lot of people, this may seem like, yeah, no brainer, but a lot of people don't look at the gauges. The amount of people I know that use pickup trucks, they're never looking at their trans temperatures. They're never looking at oil temps, oil pressure. We found an issue recently on a side-by-side where we noticed a coolant number was going up. The next thing we started noticing, we're hearing a fan going up more. And by the way, same thing happened on a snowmobile trip this weekend. We started smelling a coolant, even though the coolant level was not down. We started paying attention to your smell, your senses. These gut feels are a good indication. It can save you a lot of money. And sometimes you don't pay attention to it. Just recently, we had our furnace go out in our house, and it's a very expensive repair. And once again, I wasn't paying attention to the data and servicing this thing like I should have. We changed the filter once a year. You think that's good. Problem is, you get a furnace person to come out and take a look at your furnace in your home. They look and inspect other things, and they look at the efficiency of your burners. If I would have had this furnace inspected a year or so ago, I might have been able to salvage or make a secondary heat exchanger and a furnace last longer, but I didn't. I waited too long and basically had to replace an entire new furnace. If you could start watching your gauges more and just looking at the time of startup, it can help you. And when we just did the video on the Hemi we put on the lift, Eugene at Critter's Garage and I were talking about one of the downsides of some of the engines that no longer have a dipstick is old school people used to, when they'd pull out the dipstick to change oil, they wouldn't just look at the color of the oil, they'd actually smell the oil. Is there gas? Do you smell a gas smell? I've noticed this with engines that have been sitting for a while, or maybe they're having failing fuel injectors. You will notice more of a fuel smell in your oil. These are the small things you can do to head up a problem and hopefully catch an issue before it happens. This is another reason why we're doing this oil analysis between Car Guy Online and I. We're doing this analysis and showing you guys the Hurricane engine, standard output versus high output, 0W20 versus 0W40. We're diving into the details to understand what is happening at the microscopic level of your engine oil This could tell you the condition of your engine. It might seem stupid to a lot of people, but these are very expensive engines. And if it could help you make your vehicle last longer, have less repairs, less chance of downtime, I don't see a downside to doing it. Something as simple as kind of monitoring your fuel economy. If you saw your fuel economy drop 10% and you're normally at 15 and you're at 12, or you're normally at 20 and you're at 15, you might say, when's the last time I had a tune-up? Oil change? Is it running rough? Trust your gut, guys. This is the kind of things you can do to save yourself a lot of money. And I want you guys to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. And when you get caught off guard with the repair, man, it can be costly, it can be frustrating. And sometimes, I don't know how many times I see it in the comments. I had a vehicle I loved. Next thing you know, I start having some issues with it. And you know what? I'm tired of it. I'm just gonna go trade it in. And next thing you know, they're trading in a perfectly nice vehicle that just needed some routine maintenance and going and buying a $70,000, $100,000 vehicle. If you could do this stuff and make your vehicle last longer, it'll save you a ton of money. At a minimum, follow your recommended service in your manual. Honestly, I don't even follow it. I do, in most cases, half of the recommendation. If they say I can do 10,000 miles on an oil change, I'm gonna do 5,000 to 6,000 miles on an oil change. If they say I can do 150,000 miles on a transmission fluid and filter, probably gonna do 75,000 miles. If they say spark plugs are good for 150,000 miles, I'm probably gonna do it at 75 to 100,000 miles. Plus, another product I like using, and I'm not recommending this because I'm sponsored or work with these guys or all, I'm just saying it's worked for me. I've liked using the AMSOIL. It's like a fuel injector cleaner. I've done this on the last few vehicles. We've used it on the Gen 1 Raptor. By the way, that thing's got 190,000 miles. Original motor, original transmission. Only thing we've done to the transmission is change the fluid in the filters, change the coolant, change the spark plugs. I'm trying to think, original throttle body even. This thing runs great. Running fuel injector cleaners, good oil changes, synthetics, and you can make this thing last. And we're gonna run the crap out of this thing and see how far we can run this truck before it doesn't work. So anyhow, guys, this has been a topic that's been on my mind for a while. I just wanted to share you why, when I do these videos, I spend so much of the videos in the dash looking at the numbers, because I'm going to areas where a vehicle, if it breaks down and it's minus 20 degrees out, that's gonna really suck on a lot of levels. So anything I can do to head off having a problem, I'm checking temperatures, pressures, smells, looks, feelings. I take all these senses, put it together, and then say, yes, I think it's running okay. Hey guys, if you enjoy the video, feel free to like. If you enjoy the channel a lot, feel free to subscribe. We got a lot of fun videos this year coming to you guys, and we're gonna be bringing some new products, and we're excited to share. We've got a lot of new videos we're gonna be doing with you guys soon. Thanks for watching.